Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Brunch Boxing. I'm your host, Matt. Hey, guys, listen. I know there's going to be a lot of you ladies disappointed today, but the heartthrob of Brunch Boxing, Ezra, is not here with us today. He is out working the golf course. He claims that he's golfing, but Ezra can't golf.
I'm gonna expose the group chat a little bit. Yeah, I think he left the show today so he could do his like home league fantasy football draft.
No way!
Because he shared a draft at like 5 a.m. local for me, asking
Ezra's
how
a
was my
funny guy,
team.
man. He said he's going to be wheels in the air, but yet golf courses in Palm Springs, he can drive there. So I'm gonna get the whole wheels in the air thing, man. But listen,
He
we're
had a good
here.
team though. He had a
We
good
are
team though.
live.
So
Exactly. Well, he did have a good team. I ain't gonna lie, he did. But he does need a tight end. He does need a tight end. His tight end suck. But we got Brunch Boxing super producer Huey in the building with us today, and hey Juan, we're going shirts and skins today. Shirtless today, baby. That is hilarious. Hey man, don't let the camera slip. You don't want to know what's on the bottom. But listen, we're gonna kick off the show today. What I think is the biggest news of boxing, to me, Errol Spence Jr. and Jermell Charlo are slated to return to the boxing world. Kick us off, Huey.
all right, so yeah, like you said, Jermell Charlo over the week posted on his Instagram story, no friends in the industry. They followed it up with pictures of a lion eating a big fish, which we know is Errol Spence. There were a few other pictures posted throughout the week as well. Seems like Charlo is just ready for any smoke. But we know that both Charlo and Spence are expected to return to the ring here in the near future. So you tell me what's going on with them, what's going on with PBC here in the schedule we got to look forward to.
So listen, before I said that they're probably going to fight on the same card, but in separate bouts. Now I'm not so sure. From what I'm hearing, there is a very good chance that they will come back against each other. I don't know if I'm speaking out of school here, but I've heard that Errol Spence, he don't fuck with Charlo no more. And it's been like that for a while. And Errol Spence really want that smoke with Charlo, and that it might be Charlo who's looking to have an interim fight before he fights Spence. Spence wants to smoke right away. You know, if it was up to Spence, the fight would have happened already. And I'm kind of thinking, and maybe you could help me out on this. Where do you think things went wrong for Spence and Charlo? Because they seemed to be pretty close when they were in the same camp.
Well, when they moved camps, I think that was maybe something that where they thought that Spence would move up to 154 at some point, and they saw each other as potential opponents. I think that was probably the major rift. And then when there was some of the Crawford Spence things going on, maybe some of the things that were said there. I can't remember specifically what was said, but I remember there was I know during the fight, Crawford looked at Charlo, you're next. There was some conversations of I feel like did Charlo make a comment about Spence losing after the fight? I can't remember. I feel like that was something.
Yes. He was kind of talking spicy about Errol Spence after the loss to Crawford, and I was like, that's weird. That's supposed to be your boy. You kind of talking shit. So I did find that to be kind of weird. So I'm wondering if that played a role in Spence like, yo, fuck this dude, because from what I hear, Spence is desperate to fight Charlo. He wants to smoke. He wants to smoke. He wants to settle that in the ring with the 10 ounces on for money. So
no tune-ups, right?
No tuna. And it's funny to me that and I don't know if you're hearing this or what your Twitter algorithm is, but it seems as if fans, they don't want Spence to fight nobody good. I don't get it. Everyone keeps saying, oh, he's going to get beat by this guy. He's going to get beat by that guy. He's going to get beat by this guy. So what, you want him to retire at 35 off of one loss? Why? You don't think Spence has earned the right, after all the great fights that he's given us throughout the years, to go out on his terms? I don't understand that from the fans at all.
I think he has. I think what it is a lot of people are fans first, and they don't necessarily want to think about it. They don't necessarily think about it from the fighter's perspective. So as a fan, you don't want to see your favorite fighter lose. If you saw him slip a little against Ugas. He didn't look like the same fighter. He wasn't as quick. His reactions were a little slower. Things like that. He wasn't moving as well around the ring. You saw what happened against Crawford, and then seeing
Yeah,
him in names against guys like Charlo, Fundora. Who else was mentioned this week? There was a third name that I can't recall at the
Virgil.
moment, but these are fights that are going to be tough fights for him. And as a fan of him, I could see how what you've seen recently, you don't want to maybe put him in that position to have him take that kind of
Okay.
punishment again.
Yeah, but what I would say to that is, how do we know that Spence didn't look sluggish because he stayed at 147 too long? Keep in
That's a
mind,
very
he
good
was at
point.
147 his entire career. Maybe moving up a weight class or two is going to revitalize him. I just think that from what I've seen from Spence, he looks in great shape. He looks like he's ready to fight. He's been in the gym for a minute, and now he's ready to come back. And I say, listen, boxing, especially boxing in the United States of America, we need every big event that we can get. And one thing that we know, Errol Spence is a big event. Errol Spence draws a crowd. So I'm no, I can't be doing this show looking at the comments. Y'all have me dying in the comments. But yeah, Errol Spence draws a crowd, So I think people need to let the man go out the way he want to go out. If he wants to fight Charlo, if he wants to fight Virgil, if he wants to fight Boots, if he wants to try to get a rematch with Crawford, let Spence do what he wants to do because I feel like he's earned that right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I honestly look forward to seeing Spence back. I don't necessarily, if he were to take a tune-up fight against a lesser opponent just to kind of see where he's at before he goes into a bigger fight, I wouldn't fault him for that. But that doesn't seem to be what his mindset is, and it's never been that way. So if he is going to take a fight, personally, I think the Charlo fight is probably the best fight for him. I don't want to see him against Fundora right away. When that first fight was announced, I didn't think there was a chance he would win that fight. I still don't think there's a chance he beats Fundora.
All right,
Boots would be
let's get to
interesting
the.
because Boots is also moving up from 147, but I think Charlo is probably the best because they're both coming off a lot of inactivity, both a little older, both familiar with each other, and I think that's a good welcome back to the ring for both of them.
All right, let's get to a couple fan comments on the subject. Because we could do this live and in person setup at the end of the show. Neutral from Red Corner Boxing. Shout out to Neutral. Make sure you go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He said those car crashes and the defeat of Crawford convinced many he's cooked, and not me. Yeah, I agree. A lot of people think Spence is good. I don't think so. I really don't. I definitely agree with you. Let's go to Stringer Basquiat, Ezra's #1 fan. He said Spence didn't just lose; he got bulldozed, and he was in a major car accident. Okay, listen, I get that. I definitely get that. Errol Spence Jr. got his ass whipped by Terrence Crawford. We all saw the fight. He got dominated. So if you get dominated in a fight, you got to retire. Help me understand that. Errol Spence needs to retire because he got beat in one fight. So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If he feels he got more to give, we'll see. And if he doesn't have more to give, then we'll also see that too. But I think that he should be afforded the opportunity just off the strength of the yeoman's work that he's done at 147. Errol Spence, he didn't get his belts vacantly. He fought every champion and took their belt. Every champion and took their belt. So I think Errol Spence Jr. deserves the opportunity to go and reclaim his throne if he feels he's capable of doing it. And I see my man Diesel says we got to give Spence one more chance to prove it in the ring. Can't write him off yet. I agree. I agree. I agree. Virtue also says that Spence is rumored to be fighting Fundora. I think he dodged a bullet, but be ready for the next one. Honestly, could Spence get off the couch and beat Fundora? That depends on how you guys think this new era is. I was having a discussion with the official historian of Bunch Boxing, J-Roll, and we were talking about the Manny Barrios thing because I always said that Manny could probably beat him. And then we're talking about Keith Thurman versus Fedora, which we'll get to soon. And I would say, hey, listen, just because these new guys are the top of the division now, don't mean that the previous generation fell far enough for these new guys to beat them. I'm of the opinion that this previous generation of fighters are amongst some of the most talented fighters we've ever seen in boxing. The Spences, obviously the legendary Manny Pacquiao, Jermell Charlo. So just because you have the Barrioses and the Fedoras and even the Boots and all these guys at the top of these divisions now doesn't mean that they are where those elite guys descended to. But that's only something that we could see inside the ring, and that's why I want to see it inside the ring.
Before we go to some of the thoughts on people and how they see that fight going, if it happens here, I thought Juan had a very poignant comment here. He said, much different circumstances, but people thought Fulton was done after he got smoked by anyway, and he's proven he's got a lot left.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people thought Fulton was done. You know, I wrote an article about Fulton that you could check out on bunchboxing.com where, to me, Fulton, his situation reminded me of Ether when Nas was saying he's been fucked over, left for dead, distant, forgotten. Luck ran out. They thought that I'd be gone, stiff and rotten. A lot of people turned on Stephen Fulton, and he showed that not only does he have more left in the tank, he's still one of the very best fighters in the sport. You can't throw somebody away off of one ass whipping. People get their ass whipped in boxing all the time. You know, people complain about boxing. Oh, everyone cares about their everyone cares about their But then when you have a fighter that takes a loss, no matter how bad or how close the loss is, then you got people that want to write them off. You know, and I don't want people writing Spence off. I think he should be given a chance to see if he can do what I think he's going to do.
All right. Well, I think, you're alone here. I do favor Charlo in that fight. Looks like the comments favor Charlo. We got Hitman saying he favors Charlo. AWM Boxing, he's got Charlo. We got Mike from Brunch Boxing himself saying he thinks Charlo's going to take that fight. You said you got Errol Spence.
Oh, you said AWM
like
is in here?
Right there.
You said AWM is here. Shout out to AWM, Angry White Man Boxing Podcast. Make sure y'all go subscribe. That's my man's right there. Shout out to Angry White Man. He got some good fucking content. And make sure you guys smash the like button. Smash the like button, right? We got to do some house cleaning here. Smash the like button right now. Share the space. Share the live stream if you're on Twitter. Let's run these numbers up.
All right, and then one last point on this before we move on. You did your most important fighters list earlier in the week. You had a very focused list for the American market, and this fight is very important for the American market. We saw a lot of buzz when that was announced. When he posted that on Instagram, there was a lot of buzz online, a lot of chatter on Twitter Spaces, on the timeline. We saw it all over the place of what the potential hype for that fight would be.
And one more thing I wanted to address with that post that Charlo made, right? A day later, they started spamming the post with different guys, Boots, Fedora, stuff like that. Don't be fooled. I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I think that PBC told him, dog, too early to put this out. Why are you putting this out already? We want to announce it. Because they knew they were going to officially announce the Fedora card this week. So now he's trying to post all these other guys to throw people off the scent. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, we got some other people saying it's interesting. Sibby, saying that it's going to be interesting seeing what Charlo looks like coming down to 154 again off of 2 years in activity.
Great point.
All right. So anything else before we move on to the next topic on this, Matt?
Nah, I think we squeezed all the juice out of this orange.
All right. So next thing up here, bit of news with Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach. Now we know Tank is having his upcoming fight in November with Jake Paul, but off of this, we hear that Tank saying Lamont is suing him over their rematch that never materialized. What do you think about this? Fair or foul?
Come on, man. Lamont, what is he doing? What is he doing? From what I hear, PBC is going to bring Lamont Roach in the fold, at least temporarily, give him a co-feature on a big event, a big card. So if it's true, because we only heard it from Tank, if it's true that Lamont Roach is suing Tank, if I'm PBC, I dead those plans. You suing I got anyway. What's the difference? I just don't think it's a good look, man. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, like you said, if it's true, I don't think it's a good look either. I don't like that this is second time we've seen this in about the span of a year where someone's suing over a fight that either happened or didn't happen. If Tank triggered the rematch and Lamont feels like he's owed that fight, I understand where he feels like he's been wronged. But if PBC is trying to work with him and make something happen to not make it right, because there's not a fight you can make that gives him the same type of financial reward and also the critical award that Tank would if he were to win that fight. But they're trying to work with him to give him something to keep him active, keep him in the fold, so that way when Tank is done with this fight, they could still potentially come back to that match. And that's part of the reason, like you said, a lot of time with Canelo and Benavidez, I have a hard time calling this a duck at this point in time because, I mean, that fight can still happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, to me, I don't get it. This fight still could happen. So I think Lamont, don't overplay a hand. Don't overplay a hand. Like you have the people on your side. Don't have the people turn against you, because unless it's just a Devin Haney thing and people just hate Devin Haney, it seems like fans don't like when fighters sue other fighters. And we say he's going to get all these riches with a Tank fight. How do we know that the monetary stuff wasn't negotiated in the rematch clause? I'm not too sure about that. I don't think he's going to make a windfall against Tank. Now, like you said, the notoriety from fighting Tank and beating Tank is a huge thing, and you can't put a price on that. But you really can't put a price on that. Is it worth suing over? I guess we'll see. I did check all the court dockets, and I did not see any lawsuit filed yet. I'm going to check again on Monday or Tuesday. No, Monday's a holiday, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to check again on Tuesday, and then we'll see. We'll see.
And then from Dan here, we got, can Roach do that since Tank's fighting a exhibition versus a pro fight? Do you think he has any grounds for that lawsuit even?
No, I don't.
All right, here. Don't. And just going to make a quick change to what we got here on the screen. We got the host of the longest running boxing podcast on YouTube joining us right now, Bellini Award winner, Jay Beasy, Mr. J.R. Bell.
Hey, let's go.
Right, hey, yo, what's happening?
Hey, what's with the shirt? We're going shirtless today.
No, we ain't. Hell no, we ain't. No, we ain't. We ain't doing that. We is not doing that. No. This is exactly why I put on the shirt, okay? We is not going shirtless. Come on, you see the producer. The producer is actually, proper, in presenting himself to the public. You, on the other hand.
The talent is unpredictable, Jay Beasy. The talent's unpredictable.
Oh my God, it's insane. It's insane, man. It's insane.
And now he's eating breakfast.
Well, as long as it's not a glizzy. Then if it was a glizzy, then I would be logging off. Okay.
All right, Jay Beasy. While he's eating, what do you think about Lamont Roach reportedly suing Tank over the failed rematch that didn't materialize?
Okay. Now, Brother Matt knows a little bit about this here, but if we go back to the evening of March 1st at the Barclays Center, okay, I was there at the post-fight press conference. Brother Matt was there at the post-fight press conference, and the last question to Tank Davis was asked by Kevin Garcia at the time, Puerto Rican kid KG, in reference to Tank's next fight. Okay, and Tank said something to the effect of, "Listen, I will want it to be next, but it's not going to be next." And said that also that the rematch would probably be planned out for not this year. So even if there was going to be a rematch, he said that it wasn't going to be this year. So at the time, they already had plans that they were going to have another fight that wasn't going to involve Lamont Roach Jr., regardless of the result. Okay. So with that being said, if there was like something that was an issue with Lamont Roach Jr., it should have been raised then. So here in this particular case, I'm not sure if he has that much legs, behind what he might do as far as like suing. But that's the thing with the draw. No one really knows what happens with that, because it's not like you really have a rematch after a draw. We've seen that in the past. Look at, Wilder versus Fury. Look at, Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez going back, years. So, in this particular instance, unless if it's something within the contract that says we have 2 fights regardless of the result, then I don't know if this thing here with Lamont Roach Jr. has legs behind it.
Yeah.
Now,
you go, Matt.
Let me ask you a question real quick, ABC. Is this a bad look for Lamont Roach?
From a PR standpoint, I would say that it is. Because you have like I said, you had the great performance there that happened on March 1st. You're going off of the momentum of that. You don't have a lot of interest that you didn't necessarily have before, as far as like as a fighter. You know what I mean? Because I know we've been in like multiple conversations about what happened before the fight, leading into the fight. How many people have been talking about Lamont Roach Jr. and their thoughts about him overall as a fighter? Now, after this particular fight, he's getting a lot more, eyes behind him. It's just about what he's going to do next. And him like pursuing this particular fight, is easily the most lucrative fight that he could have. But if there's nothing that's going to materialize as far as like a fight against Tank next, then you got to be able to move forward and move on. And that's something that, has been said within the camp over the past couple of months. But to see this going on back and forth between him and Tank kind of, makes this a messier situation.
Yeah. But listen, for more on this topic, make sure you guys follow the Boxing Source. He will be in DC with Lamont Roach Sr., and I'm sure Lamont Roach Jr. will be there for the Pro Box card in DC on September 5th. So make sure you guys follow the Boxing Source, because I'm sure he will follow up on this situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on here. Next thing we got announced for the week here is PBC. We got an official announcement for a huge night in boxing, headlined by Sebastian Fundora against Keith Thurman. Also in the co-feature, we got Stephen Fulton against Oshaki Foster. On the card, we got Jesus Ramos fighting Shane Mosley Jr. And Matt, I apologize. What was the last fight on that card that got announced?
We got Usyk Lucero versus Tony Harrison.
All right, but before I go ahead and I'm really excited for this card. I think this is a great card. We got 2 great fights at the top of it. Now, Ramos Jr. versus Mosley. I think this is a great fight for Ramos to be able to kind of showcase himself. I don't know if Mosley's really kind of earned the opportunity that he's getting in this fight, but I think it's great for Ramos. I think that should be an entertaining fight regardless. But it really just should be a good night of fight. I think overall, I would give the card like B+, A- off the names value alone. And the Stephen Fulton Oshaki Foster fight, I don't know what to really expect in the ring, and that's why it drops it down to that B+, A- range from like an A for me. Matt, what do you think?
Let's go to JBZ.
All right.
See, I was gonna, follow up with Brother Matt, because there was a little bit of a, grade of sorts for each individual fight that was, there from Matt or from Brunch Boxing, and that, a number of the fights, or a couple of the fights that are on there, are 50-50 fights, which include, as posted up there, Stephen Fulton versus Oshaki Foster, of course, Stephen Fulton, unified champion at 122 pounds. You have him as the current WBC champion at 126 pounds. And you got O'Shaquie Foster, that's been a WBC champ at 130 pounds, multi-time WBC champ, as he had that controversial decision lawsuit, Roach and Conceição last July. So I think that's going to be a highly skilled fight between those two individuals, and that's a 50-50 fight. For the main event, you got Sebastian Fundora defending the WBC belt there against Keith one-time Thurman. Of course, had one fight there against Mark Jarvis over in Australia. Was thinking that, maybe we could have a fight against Tim Tszyu, but Tim Tszyu ended up going to face Sebastian Fundora and got basically busted up. So now Fundora's coming off of that win, his win over Cordell Booker, and he's riding high here at the 154-pound division. And Keith Thurman, they say it's Keith Thurman. And some people say it's a 50-50 fight. One person I was talking to talking about, no, I don't think it's a 50-50. He thinks it's a barbecue chicken alert, that Keith Thurman might be barbecue chicken. Ooh, I don't know. But that's going to be an interesting thing nonetheless.
Whoever said that, tell them say it to my face.
All right. I'll arrange that. I'll arrange that in Huey. This would be something like dang, what would it be? It would kind of be like in the WWE, Andre the Giant versus King Kong Bundy. Okay? It would be up to that level if that happens.
But I will say though, I know there are a number of people out there that think Fundora is going to clean up Keith Thurman. I just don't see it. And I keep telling people, the stuff that I deem to be Keith Thurman's weaknesses are stuff that Sebastian Fundora is not known for. I think Keith, at this advanced age, is maybe weaker to the body, but Sebastian Fundora is not a body puncher, So it's like, I don't know, guys. I think Keith Thurman, who's one of the best boxers in the sport, he's one of the best pure boxers and a great boxer puncher. I think that he's going to be able to give Sebastian Fundora a lot of problems. And if Sebastian Fundora can't keep Keith Thurman at bay with that jab all night, it's going to be an issue, because Keith Thurman, he still carries power. They don't call him one time for nothing, I just think that it's a lot more difficult than people say. Now, Fulton versus Foster, great fight, 50-50 fight, one of the best fights in boxing, but aesthetically, how's it going to look? Because I've literally fallen asleep at a Shaqie Foster fight before, literally, and you got two guys, they're not really heavy hitters, they're just great boxers. It's going to be, like, this fight to me is for the nerds. This fight is for the nerds. Those guys are always talk about the sweet science and the foot feints and the feints, and look at the hand placement, look at the way he's controlling it. This fight is for the nerds. I'm not a nerd. I like meat. I like meat. I would have gave this card an A if they would have had a heavyweight bout on here, but I know PBC don't really do heavyweights. But yeah, this is like, come on, man.
Hey, he's not wrong when he says that he falls asleep during the O'Shaquie Foster fight, because last year in Newark, the Prudential Center, when they had O'Shaquie Foster versus Roach and Conceição, and that fight with the full 12 rounds, Matt actually fell asleep during that fight.
Yeah. And, I keep saying this, and people don't believe me. Everyone keep blaming Shakur Stevenson for the fans leaving. I just think people were fed up after that O'Shaquie Foster fight. If that fight would have been exciting, the fans would have stayed through the main event. But to have to stay through that shit, and then a Shakur Stevenson boxing exhibition, the fans was like, fuck this, we're out of here.
Oh, and according to reports, there was another person within the boxing community that was falling asleep during that fight card as well. But he continues to deny it though.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
this is quick, because this is like almost like breaking news, even though I don't know how I missed this. Ring Magazine says that Dimitri Bivol is back in the gym for the first time after his operation. It's amazing. Hold on. You know what? Let me get off Twitter. Hold on. Hey guys. I've been trying to tell y'all. And to me, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that as soon as Beterbiev announces he's going to stay busy and he's going to have to say you're not going to waive him, all of a sudden, the motherfucker back feel better. Come on, guys.
Hey.
Guys. What are we doing? What
was it in the WCW with what was it, Kevin Nash that was injured and then he apparently got up and powerbombed somebody and said, it's okay.
Yeah, suddenly he's healed. Healed. Ridiculous.
Yo, what is up with this hairdo, man?
Hey, Huey, be careful, man. We don't want to know what kind of porn you be watching.
Nothing sharing on the screen. It's just Twitter, man.
What did I say? BBW Pog? What did I
say? What? Oh man.
Yeah, but listen. Bivol versus Michael Eifert. Book it.
Now you've been saying that for a while. Once they had the whole thing that, you know, we were not going to have the third fight between Bivol and Beterbiev, that it was going to be Dimitri Bivol versus Michael Eifert. All of these mandatories and these rematches and all that type of stuff. Bivol wasn't going to be interested in that. No. He wanted to go back to facing like guys like Michael Eifert. And, well.
Listen, what he's going to do is he's going to bide his time so he can get a Canelo fight. That's all. What else
do you think Bivol's shooting for the rematch?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have the trilogy.
I don't think so either.
All right. Yeah, and you don't think he's gonna play Benavidez?
No.
Nigga,
hey,
no.
I can be a vocal boxing fan, can't I? I can be a vocal boxing fan.
The creator,
Turkey's giving
no, you can be
giving us the fights we want to see.
Okay. Did you ask for John Opataya versus Derek Chisora?
Well, you know, speaking of fights that may or may not be happening, we've been hearing about Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez in January, but that's still not done. Well, you got any thoughts about what the situation is, if that fight's even going to materialize?
I do have thoughts, and my only thought is, who cares? Who cares? Because I was listening to the boxing podcast with Chris Mannix, and Chris Mannix released a little piece of information that I hadn't previously heard before. That fight that they're talking about is going to be in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia.
When it should be in New York.
What are we doing?
That fight should be at the Garden.
So when people get upset that Shakur Stevenson is not on my 10 most important boxers list, this is why. If you're going to be fighting in Saudi Arabia, you're not important to the boxing market, because Saudi Arabia has no boxing market.
Number one on J-Ro's list.
Listen, I don't care about the whole thing with this Saudi Arabia and them trying to increase tourism and them offering more money for these fights to be in Saudi Arabia. That fight, if it was going to happen in the first place, it shouldn't be in no damn Saudi Arabia. That's bullshit.
Hey, Matt, before we move on to the next topic, since I don't think we have a whole lot to say on this one, you know, if it's happening in Saudi Arabia, it's happening, and we'll see who sees it. But do you want to address this question from Brick Squad, since we got some comments from the other Brunch Boxing account? Who the fuck is on the Brunch Boxing account? It's
none of your business.
It's COO, the Al Heyman of Brunch Boxing. Mike would be on the brunch boxing account that you're seeing in the comments.
Yeah, the Mexican Al Heyman that occasionally shows up to fight, so you actually do see him, and he's actually been on camera multiple times.
He has been on camera multiple times. You do see him at live fights. He should be at Fundora Thurman when that happens here later this year, so he'll be running around Vegas during that event, fight week. Yeah. Here, so moving on, we got Keyshawn Davis. He petitioned the WBO to become the number one contender at junior lightweight. The current top contender is Alfredo Santiago. The current champion is Teofimo Lopez. What do you think about Keyshawn coming back and him petitioning the WBO? And do you think he's coming back too soon? You think he said he wanted to stay out of the ring a year. He needed to get his mental health right. What do you think about what he said and now what he's doing?
I love this. I love this. And here's the reason why I love this. What were we just talking about just now, Huey? Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, right?
In the American market.
Belt would that be for? The WBO Junior Welterweight Championship. What organization is Keyshawn Davis pursuing the belt for?
The WBO.
WBO Junior Welterweight Championship. If there is a boxing god, please let Teo versus Shakur happen. And I want Shakur to win. Because then, right in that path, we're brothers, we're bros, we'll never fight. Well, you can't get that WBO belt without fighting your brother. I need that. I want to see Keyshawn versus Shakur. Now, the mandatory for the WBO won't be due till May. So he needs to get named number one now. Maybe they'll have him fight Alfredo Santiago, which is why I mentioned him. And then by May 2026, Shakur Stevenson versus Keyshawn fucking Davis.
Hold on just a moment. I'm gonna try to confirm something here real quick. Because
BZ,
yeah.
I was gonna say, well, you're looking that up, Matt. I got a question for you because what we heard of and what you said about Shakur Teofimo, we know that Shakur signed with Matchroom. Keyshawn is a Riyadh season ambassador. Where do they put that fight?
They put that fight on the East Coast in the United States.
Okay.
Top Rank should have a deal by then. And I want to correct you on something. Shakur is not with Matchroom. Shakur is a free agent.
He's still a free agent? Okay.
Yeah. And it seems like he's negotiating with Turkey directly. Now, who recently said, we want Shakur Stevenson back? Bob Arum. Maybe for the new year, 2026, we might see a reunion and a big in-house fight for Top Rank. Keyshawn Davis versus Shakur Stevenson for the WBO Junior Welterweight Championship.
That'd be big for Top Rank.
Well,
it'd be the biggest fight they put on in years.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, while I do like this idea of Keyshawn Davis petitioning to be the mandatory contender for the WBO Super Lightweight Championship, the thing is with Teofimo Lopez is that Teofimo Lopez is the WBO Super Champion for the Super Lightweight division, which means that he has extended, an extended time period between fighting mandatory challengers. He did have his fight in May against the last person, I think, that was the mandatory challenger for his belt, Arnold Barboza Jr. So instead of May, it would probably be towards next September or so that he would have a mandatory defense or his next mandatory defense. But that still doesn't mean that we could have Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. And if Shakur Stevenson has that fight and wins, then yeah, we could have Shakur Stevenson versus Keyshawn Davis for that WBO super lightweight title. I feel like either way, any of those fights would be very good within the super lightweight division. I know that that Keyshawn Davis has been calling for a fight with Teofimo Lopez for at least 2 years. So it makes for a good overall situation if this kind of comes together in some form of fashion at the beginning of next year.
Now, I know they have said repeatedly that they will not fight each other, but do we really believe that they won't fight each other if the money's right?
Money talks.
I think that at this point, Shakur still holds that, but some of the things that we saw out of Keyshawn in the last year, namely that conversation with Zab Judah on IG Live, he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
My thing is,
just
if
brain exercise. You guys think we'll win that fight?
Keyshawn against Shakur?
Yeah.
I slightly favor Shakur, but I wouldn't be surprised if Keyshawn won it. I'd say like 65-35 Shakur.
Okay. Respect.
Yo, my thing is if y'all brothers and y'all say that, oh, he's did this for me and that for me, what about, having something that could give you a good amount of money, probably the most amount of money that you would be able to get up to that point? I don't see why not.
Hey, listen, Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah were close.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd gave him that opportunity. The best thing you can do for your brother is break bread with him.
Listen. My thing is this. The thing is this. See, I don't care that, you lost that guy, Carlos Baldomir. We're still going to fight. We got to fight. All right? I'm going to show that I'm TBE, and you're just not on my level.
All right, what else we got, Hugh?
All right, so next, we saw some photos come out this week of Canelo and Jaron Boots Ennis sparring together. It sparked a lot of controversy, a lot of conversation throughout the timeline, throughout the boxing community. What are your thoughts on Sparring Gate, Matt?
My people. Leave Boots Ennis alone. Boots Ennis is not a sellout. He's not a coon or whatever you guys been calling him. I think that the discourse surrounding this sparring session with Boots and Canelo is so fucking stupid. So stupid, all right? And this is for Africans only. So listen, like Dr. Umar said, if you're not black, this money ain't for you. I'm talking to my people only. This is community business. You guys have to stop calling niggas coons for shit that's not coonery. There's real coon shit going on out here, and y'all don't even realize it's coon shit because it's one of your favorites. I understand that there are people out there that don't like Keyshawn Davis. Not Keyshawn, Jaron Boots Ennis. I understand that there are people out there that are super fans of Terrence Crawford. But we gotta only use it when it's acceptable to use. We gotta only use it when it's acceptable to use, and it's not acceptable to use in this situation. I don't hear any Mexicans calling Canelo Alvarez a Mexicoon for sparring Boots, who's a potential Virgil opponent. I don't hear that happening. Why do we have this guy from Terrence Crawford's camp trying to call Boots a sellout? It's not cool. It's not cool at all. And this is the same guy that had a lot of weird, spicy shit to say about Errol Spence and Al Heyman. So were you on some cool shit for saying that? Some might say so. But because you're up, because you're up right now, you think that you can put that smut on Boots' name. We gotta stop that. We have to be fair about these fighters. Like if Boots do some sucker shit, we could call it out. I think Boots did some sucker shit when he ain't fight Brian Norman. But me and Jay Beasley have argued about that for months. I thought he should have took the fight. I thought he should have taken the fight. But to act like he's a coon for sparring, you guys are out of line. And it's
Oh,
fucking weird. It's fucking weird. That don't make no sense to me at all. And y'all need to stop it. Shout out to Boots. He got a fight coming up October 11th. Looking forward to it. See if he do work. Hey, listen. If Terrence Crawford's camp, is so mad at Boots sparring Canelo, after you fight Canelo, why don't you fight Boots? How about that? Or shut the fuck up. That's all I got to say about that.
Beezy, you got anything to add?
Santos Alvarez Barragan has worked out with Farah Ennis and Boots Ennis here in this particular occasion or whatever it is. So it's not like this is just a brand new relationship between the Ennis family and Canelo Alvarez, right? So when this opportunity came up, it's just an easy phone call to Bozy Ennis to say, hey, if Boots is available, why don't he, come on over and, do some work with Canelo? And that's pretty much it. Like to see that happen and then to have all of these fans, kind of like say this is absolutely idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. And it shows like how narrow-minded some fight fans can be. So with that being said, it should be a nothing burger, but a lot of these fans are making it a whole lot more than it actually is. And it just makes things look worse from a overall standpoint than to just say, hey, these fighters are doing what it takes in order to properly prepare for a big fight that's happening on September 13th. We don't need all this other extra shit. We don't. It's going to be a big fight for an undisputed super middleweight championship at Allegiant Stadium. Let's just be excited for that and not talk about stuff that really should matter on the overall scope of things.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. Huey,
Yeah.
I would ask for your opinion, but it's black people business, Huey. Sorry.
Hey,
We can't have your opinion on this one.
I'm okay with that here. We'll move on
But
to the
let me
next
know
thing.
from a Mexican standpoint, how you feel about Canelo sparring Boots when he's a potential Virgil opponent?
I don't think of it at all. Canelo doesn't have any connection with Virgil. He doesn't. It is what it is. Like, I think that Boots, honestly, for me, the way that I look at it, I think Boots is making the smartest decision he could. Beezy made a point to it. Like, I remember seeing videos of Canelo working mitts with Bozy from like a few years ago. Like, they have a connection, but also Boots is moving up from 147 to 154. I think he's going to move up to 160 at some point. And working with a guy like Canelo, who's at a heavier weight class, is one of the smartest things he can do to prepare for that.
I agree.
And
what else we got?
Next here, we got more news from the WBO. They ordered an updated medical exam for Alexander Usyk's dancing after Alexander Usyk's dancing video. I don't know if you caught that. But what are your thoughts on this? We know that he's supposed to fight Joseph Parker. He asked for that to be extended, get a different fight. But you think he's ducking Joseph Parker?
I'm not gonna say that he's ducking Joseph Parker, but what I will say is I'm doing this live shirtless in honor of Alexander Usyk because that was the only thing missing from that dance video. Like, he reminded me of me when I'm dancing in the mirror, except I have no shirt on. Those were some great moves. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what song was that they were singing, but in my head, only thing I was singing was party people, go on, get funky. And I was just like, yo, go ahead, Usyk. But Usyk. Bro, you can't call out of work and then go viral in a strip club. You can't do that, Usyk. You called in sick from work. And then got caught partying. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, listen, Usyk is like us for real. Because who hasn't called out sick and we was bullshitting? Usyk he's one of us. He is everyman. Shout out to Alexander Usyk, man. Shout out, I like Usyk, man. He's one of us, man.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, with that said, that listen. Hey, I don't know if my guy Trill is in the chat, but he should be familiar with like an artist like Fada Fox or like King Bubba, where they have a whole bunch of these songs talk about they calling in sick, they ducking work, all that type of stuff. And here's Alexander Usyk doing the exact same thing.
Yo, I ain't mad at him. Yo, I know Gustavo was like, I know that ain't what I think it is. Yo, he was getting down too. He did this one move where he waved his arms, pointed to one way, waved his arms, pointed to the other way. I was like, nah, this dude is getting down. This dude is getting down right now. I was like, yo, I was expecting him to start spinning on his head. I was like, what is, yo? Oh, shit. Yo, Usyk never changed. Alexander Usyk never changed. He is a treasure in boxing. Protect Usyk at all costs, man. Shout out to Usyk, man. But nah, he not ducking Parker. He not ducking
I don't think he's ducking Parker either.
To be honest,
he's just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Usyk is contemplating retirement. If I'm being honest, I think he's wondering if he still wants to fight anymore. He's done all he's needed to do. His legacy is set. He's set financially. He loves spending time with his wife and kids. I think he might be contemplating retirement. It has nothing to do with ducking Parker.
7 Parker. Yeah, I mean, he's had of course an extensive amateur career, semi-pro career, and then just about still under 20 professional fights or so, but it's still like a long career, a long time being in boxing nonetheless. So I think with him being able to do what he did, being undisputed at cruiserweight, making a defense of that undisputed title, being an undisputed champion, making a defense of that undisputed title, and then becoming undisputed again, it's like, okay, what else is left here in the heavyweight division for him? So,
all right, I see a comment from Martin. He wants to know when is the top 10 dancing boxers list dropping right now. Let's do it. Off top. We got, in no particular order, Adrian Broner, Gervonta Tank Davis, Alexander Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, if you guys saw him doing salsa on the yacht, Canelo Alvarez. We got Floyd Mayweather, Danny Garcia, Stephen Fulton. He's not a fighter, but Birdman, Angel Garcia. Okay. Martin Bacoli and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Wait, Tyson Fury's not on the list?
Nah, he's a singer, not a dancer. I don't like the way he did. I like the way he sings, not the way he dance. Okay. But Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
We got some suggestions from the crowd. Andy Cruz, Danny Garcia, Tiafimo.
I said Danny Garcia. Pay attention, big boss.
Tiafimo,
that's a good shout. Tiafimo's a good shout.
Blunts and Boxing said, did you miss Prince Nassim?
Prince Nassim don't box no more.
Okay, so current or recently retired fighters. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, if this was all time, number one all time is Anthony Hanshaw. And you got to be an OG to remember that. Remember that whole dance he did before the Roy Jones fight? Knocked out in one round?
I do remember that. All right. You guys got anything more on Gritty says Alicia Baumgardner? Any more thoughts on Alexander Usyk, who we might fight, the fight with Parker before we go on to the next topic?
Well, my thing was, if it wasn't going to be Parker, it would be something where he would get more money off of the deal. But That's the only route that I would see for Alexander Usyk at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next thing, we're moving on. We got the IBF champion Raymond Morataya and top contender Floyd Schofield in talks to stage a bout in November. You think this fight's going to happen? And what are you hearing about it?
Honestly, can't call it. I can't call it. I'm not too sure. I kind of doubt it's going to happen, but yeah, I doubt it's going to happen. I doubt, like me, I not like when the talk get made public. I feel like when the talks get made public, I mean, it's probably going to happen, and someone's just like doing like some PR on why the fight didn't happen. I would love for it to happen because I think if they were able to do that fight, they can make that a separate card, their own main event. Or, knock on wood, although my table is marble, knock on wood, you could put that as the co-feature for Virgil versus Lubin. And you got a fucking banger of a card in Texas. Because Kid Schofield is a Texas boy also. So I would like to see it happen. I hope it happens. It's not like Top Rank has other dates. So let's make the fucking fight happen.
Who would you favor in that fight if it does happen?
I'd favor Morataya. I think he's a little bit too precise as a boxer for Schofield. Schofield can get a little erratic, a little wild. Now, one thing I will say, Morataya up until now has only shown he only has one gear. If you're only going to have one gear against Schofield, who is a very aggressive fighter, that might bode well for Schofield. To me, this is like a true 50-50 toss-up matchup. But if I had a gun to my head, I would take Morataya.
Beezy, you got any thoughts on this potential matchup, how it might go, or whether or not a likelihood of it actually taking place?
A couple of months ago, given that Morataya recently won the IBF belt, of course, being elevated to IBF champion, I didn't think that Top Rank would kind of like match him up against maybe someone like a Floyd Schofield or one of the top contenders there, like an Andy Cruz or whatever it is. Have him have a voluntary defense or two. But given their current situation there with Top Rank, of course, no TV dates here for I would say at least the next 4 months plus. That if they're going to have Morataya defend the IBF championship, this would be a good opportunity to do that against a Floyd Schofield, who is currently ranked at number 1, I think, in the WBA rankings there. And as Matt was mentioning there, it would be perfect if they put it on that card with a headline by Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Erickson Lubin. There over in Texas. So if there's any legs to it, then why not go for it? But yeah, once they say something in public, then usually it means that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, that would be a great fight to put on that card. It would definitely add more to the event and bring more people out in Texas. Sticking with the IBF, we saw Samson Lukowicz has won a heavyweight final eliminator purse bid for the bout between Frank Sanchez and Efe Jagba. Reportedly, Samson's bid was $302,000, where Top Rank bid $210,000. One, do you think this fight's going to take place, and why do you think? And what are your thoughts about the purse bid? Samson outbidding Top Rank on the fight. Whoever wants to go first on this, feel free to take it.
You go ahead, JBZ.
What's the overall split for it?
60-40. 60-40 for Jagba.
Oh. Yeah, Jagba is a top-ranked fighter. And it's against who again?
Frank Sanchez and Efe Jagba.
But they fought already. So they're going to be fighting again?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yo. Listen, I know Top Rank really ain't going to be doing that many moves right now, but they shouldn't have this fight again. I'm just going back to when that fight actually happened. We shouldn't have that. No, they should be fighting again. No, come on. We shouldn't have it happen again. Samson, listen, Samson, you gotta have some other route for Frank Sanchez. FA, you gotta have some other route. I don't care if you're fighting Richard Torres or I don't know, Guido Vianello again or something, but we don't want to see this fight again. Come on, y'all. Come on.
Why
We
not?
can't. No. Listen, Matt, I know it's two heavyweights. It's two big guys, as you say, bumping whatever it is, right? But we can't see that fight again, man. Come on.
All right, Matt.
Why
When do you
not?
think this fight's gonna happen?
There's two heavyweights. Well, it has to happen by November 24th if it's going to happen. My question is, why the hell did Samson bid on this? He doesn't have either fighter, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about.
Wait.
I did reach out to a couple people from PBC. I'm guessing the fight's going to land on a PBC prelim or open up one of their pay-per-view bouts. So if it has to happen by November 24th, that kind of gives you a hint of where the fight might land.
All right. And then last thing we have here in the news and notes section, and I'm not even sure why you included this on the rundown. I feel like this should be in the quick hits.
This
but
for you.
Andrew Tate is reported to have a heavyweight bout in Misfits. What are your thoughts on that?
This for you, man. You the MMA expert. You the MMA. Listen, you are the Tate warrior.
As Ezra is the Misfits person. He is the he wants to fight. He wants Ezra has been campaigning for a fight with Chase Demore for years. He wants to get back in the ring.
Ezra is enrolled in Andrew Tate's university, by the way. Please don't forget that. Please don't forget that.
Oh man. But I mean, I don't have any thoughts about this. Andrew Tate wasn't a real kickboxer. He's not going to be a real boxer in Misfits. He's probably going to, if he gets matched up with anyone who's been fighting in there, honestly, he probably gets knocked out.
I would love to see that, but I don't want to see him. Honestly, this is a bad look for Misfits. This is a very bad look for Misfits. Like, who's next? Diddy? Are we going to have Diddy fighting somebody in a boxing match?
That's going to be in Karate Combat on YouTube.
Yeah, it's insane to me. I know my guy Ty is an Andrew Tate guy, but we can't have this. We really can't have this. What else we got?
All right, so we got the Ezra report card of this year. This week it's going to be the MVO report card. So first up, we got Oscar Collazo versus Jason Vison. And also on the card, Gabby Fundora versus Eileen Grandinho. Any thoughts on this? What's your grade for it? You love Gabby. Gabby's one of your favorite women fighters.
I do, but I don't like the matchup. I don't like the matchup. Should have been Kenya Enriquez. I don't like this matchup. I think it's a garbage matchup. I think this girl's not good that Gabby's fighting. And Gabby's probably going to stop her in under 6 rounds. It's just...
Hey, J-Ro might tune in.
Oh, man. I'll tell you. This card is a borderline F. I'll give it a D+ just because I like Golden Boy. But this is a borderline F. You can't have 105-pounders main eventing.
I mean, he is one of their champions, right?
Yeah,
he is.
Unified, I think.
BZ, you got a great card. You got any thoughts on it? All right. Next,
you stack 4 of them motherfuckers together. I'm still bigger than them. I don't know if that says a lot about them or a lot about me.
Here's the thing. I might not be excited about the Golden Boy card when I read the names on the bout sheet, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that when I watch the card, it's going to be good.
Absolutely. I will give them that benefit of the doubt.
Next card we have coming up on the schedule here, I believe this is a Pro Box card. We have Nicholas Flaz versus Peter Dobson. Also on the card, Najee Lopez versus Calvin Henderson, Darrell Valsaint versus Isaias Lucero, and Emiliano Moreno versus Raul Garcia. There's a few fights on this card that I actually really like. What are your thoughts on it?
Honestly, if it's me, I'm giving this about an A. I love this card. I think Darrell Valsaint, he's next. You got to watch him. Najee Lopez, he was rumored to be fighting Beterbiev. How realistic was that? Not too sure because he got a fight already in September. But we have the future of boxing on this card, especially with Najee Lopez and Darrell Valsaint. Nicholas Flaz, depends on how you guys feel about him. I'm not too sure he's going to be a player at welterweight, but the welterweight division is so thin, he could be a player at welterweight. So I think this is a very good card, very good step up for Nicholas Flaz, a very good step up for Najee Lopez. I'm expecting Blast Valsaint to do what he do. And not in the rundown, but Anthony Cuba is also going to be on this card. Anthony Cuba is fast becoming one of my favorite fighters in all of boxing. So shout out to Anthony Cuba.
Yeah, Valsaint's been one of my favorite fighters featured on these Pro Box cards over the last 12 to 18 months. Been really enjoying watching him fight and kind of develop on their program. BZ, you got any thoughts on this card?
With Flaz, I think that Flaz is a Samson fighter, but he's been, working up the ranks there in the welterweight division. Was kind of interested to see what direction they were going to go with Nicholas Flaz here over his next couple of fights, because he could, be one of those contenders that could be around there, how Top Rank has Rohan Polanco there in the welterweight division. I think Nicholas Flaz is another one of those guys that is, having those fights that kind of build himself up to, work up those rankings. But then we'll see what he'll be able to do, at least after this particular fight. If he wins, that he could, get into one of those eliminators, whether it's WBO or WBC or something like that. So looking for that. Blast Valsaint, one of those up and coming fighters that, you'll want to see if you haven't seen him already here on Pro Box. He's been on Pro Box multiple times over the past year and a half. And you can also, say the same thing there with Najee Lopez. If I'm not mistaken, I think, both of those guys and Nicholas Flaz was on the thing there in Kissimmee, Florida earlier this year when they had Erickson Lubin there against Arjo Holmes Jr. So guess, another one of those showcase fights there for a number of those guys that have been on Pro Box before. So if y'all haven't, seen them on Pro Box yet, here's a great opportunity to see all those guys in action.
All right. Next card up we got here for grading is Anthony Olasquaga versus Juan Carlos Camacho. Also, we got on the card Justin Valoria versus Josafat Ortiz, Jaleel Hackett versus Elijah Vines, Emiliano Alvarado and Juan Garcia are fighting. And then we'll have Jamar Talley and Isaiah Thompson. You got any thoughts about this card, Matt? What's your grade for it?
Honestly, for the level of card that it is, I'll give this an A. I always grade on a curve what you're supposed to be expecting. You got a championship fighter here with Princesa Olasquaga. He's a good watch. Jaleel Major Hackett, I need to see what he's going to do at 154. He has never impressed me before. He did not impress me at 147. But maybe my guy, Jay Beasy, has a little bit more insight about why he looks so bad. I don't know if he wants to talk about that. But I want to see what he looks like at a 154. He's looking healthy. I've been watching some of his training videos. He looks like he's in good shape and good spirits. I want to see if he can live up to the promise that my guy Jay Beasy told me about years ago. So we'll see about that. The other guys on the card, interesting fights. They're not bad fights. Some of these matchups are kind of 50-50-ish. I just want to see what these guys got and see who's the next step in the next generation of boxers that's coming up.
All right. On this thing with Jaleel Major Hackett. Yes, I've been, following him since pretty much his first or second pro fight. And, he's been, working his way up, of course, building the undefeated record and things like that, being at 147 pounds. Now he had the thing there where he had the decision loss in Puerto Rico. And then when they were supposed to have the rematch in March, excuse me, that he had the little accident there where he got injured and ended up being scratched from that particular fight. Now, from what I've been told recently, when he had that fight against Pete Dobson, what was it, last year in Philadelphia, winning that version of a world title at 147, that should have been his last fight at 147. As a lot of y'all know in boxing, sometimes when you're, a fighter coming up, young fighter coming up, that you could get up to a certain point, and then once you've grown to a level that you can't necessarily get down to a certain weight class, and it gets tougher and tougher and tougher to get down to a weight class. Okay. At that time, he should have been like, say, for example, Shakur Stevenson when he won the vacant WBO featherweight title, or after unifying the super featherweight division. Once you get a win at a certain point, you got to move up, and that was the thing there with Jaleel Hackett. He should have moved up. This is well overdue for Jaleel Hackett because 147 definitely not. 154. We'll see how long it is at 154. I'll just say that.
Wow. Is there a chance that 154 is a pit stop, in your opinion?
I wouldn't say that it's a chance, but from what I've been told, that it should be a pit stop.
Hey, listen, 160 needs all the talent it could get, so I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
All right. And then last card we have here for the report card is going to be Osleys Iglesias versus Vladimir Shishkin. Also on the card, we got. Oh wow. Okay. All right. So this is where I have some sympathy for Ezra here. All right, going through some of these names here. Right?
No. Here we go.
So we got Dimitri Asanau versus Layad Duati, Jahan Orobio versus Alexander Gormont, Avery Martin, Duval Moreno Federo, and Wyatt Sanford. Yeah, I got a little bit of sympathy for Ezra on some of these names.
This is Eye of the Tiger Promotions showcase of sorts. Of course, headlined by Osleys Iglesias there against Vladimir Shishkin. Of course, Shishkin, had his bout there against William Skull, close decision loss. Now he's right back in the mix with this IBF eliminator here against Osleys Iglesias at the super middleweight division. And Iglesias has been one of those guys that has, definitely been a fighter to watch there at 168 pounds there. And I feel like, this is going to be either a very interesting bout or it's going to be a very short bout. Because with Osleys Iglesias, you never know, man. You never know. Because, hey, he's had, of course, one of the highlight reel knockouts, here earlier in his career. And with Shishkin, he does have, a little bit of skill, but if he don't have that much pop behind his punch, he could be in real trouble here against Osleys Iglesias. So I know, Matt, that you had an extensive interview with the president of Salida Promotions, Dimitri Salida, but yeah, Shishkin's going to be in real tough for this one on September 4th.
Hey, I listen. I'll tell you one thing. This fight is gonna be a lot quicker than that interview with Dimitri Salida. Now, I'm gonna pull a Ezra. Just based upon the main event, this card is an A+. To me, Osleys Iglesias versus Vladimir Shishkin is one of the best fights on the schedule. It's one of the more interesting fights on the schedule. I need to see if Osleys Iglesias is who I think he is. The tornado is here. Let's see if he could do the damage that he is meant to do. We know Vladimir Shishkin is a quality operator, good boxer, decent power. I think he got like 10 knockouts in his, I think he got like 16 wins, maybe 17 wins. I'm just going off top. Iglesias, we know he's a heavy hitter, destructive power. One of his knockouts, he had literally the guy like seizing and twitching on the canvas. But let's see how you do that against a world level operator. This is a very intriguing fight. I can't wait for it. A+. Like, Salute to Dimitri Salita and Camille Estefan for getting this fight made, because this is an excellent fight, and I can't wait for it. One note I do want to say, I have reached out to Eye of the Tiger, because usually a fight like this would be on ESPN Plus. Obviously, we know Top Rank don't have to deal with ESPN anymore, and that was through Top Rank. So I did reach out to Eye of the Tiger to see how can U.S. fans watch this event. So as soon as I get that information from Eye of the Tiger, I will be putting it out on the Brunch Boxing timeline on X. So make sure you guys, if you don't already now, go follow Brunch Boxing on X on Twitter, so we can keep you up to date with the latest information as it pertains to watching this card.
All right, now Matt, I gotta ask: booking the damn territory, is this on the rundown from last week, or do you want to go over this 10 most important boxers again?
We'll save that.
All right. So then what we're gonna do is we'll move into quick hits here. First thing we got, actually, no need for your music this week.
Nah. I'm gonna hold on to these, because they not hitting the cash out, but they supposed to. Y'all can't get the matter of fact, housekeeping. Drop that cash app for them, Huey. Just drop that cash app. Make sure y'all support. Hit the cash app. Hit the cash app. This is my official birthday collection. Yeah, it's Virgo season. Birthday collection. Hit the cash app, ladies and gentlemen. All right, go ahead, Huey.
All right, first up, we got Michaela Mayer set to fight Mary Spencer for the 154-pound title. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't like it. You have Michaela Mayer versus Lauren Price right there. That's the fight that people wanted to see. I don't understand why they couldn't get this fight done. This is women's boxing. Like, if we're at the point in the sport of boxing where now the women are outpricing themselves, we're in a lot of fucking trouble. I don't know what's going on over there, but we needed Lauren Price versus Michaela Mayer. Now we're not getting that. Now she's going up to 154 to fight Mary Spencer to get a belt in the third division. Okay, great. Well, if you're at 154, I want to see you fight Clarissa Shields then. Clarissa says she'll come down to 154. Now you're opening up that possibility, you know? But other than that, I need to see the Lauren Price fight.
BZ, any thoughts on this fight? I see you shaking your head.
So you have the first bout that you had against Sandy Ryan over in New York City. Then you have the rematch against Sandy Ryan and win. And you have, that is your one defense of that welterweight title after, people kind of question you before your first bout against Sandy Ryan. And you don't have the opportunity to at least unify the division, or like Matt said, had the fight against Lauren Price, but you're more interested in moving up to 154 pounds instead of having that bout. Yeah, that's not a good look at all.
Wait, hold on real quick. We got donations. Nika, I see you, Big Nike. Nika, hit the cash app, Nika, with the donation.
Donations.
Donations. Shout out to Nika. Hey, for those who didn't see it before, just drop that cash app for them one more time, Huey.
I got you.
Let them see that cash. Remember, just leave it on the screen. We could just leave it up. What we got next?
It blocks BZ's app. How are people supposed to follow
BZ? No. Hit the cash app. They know. Listen. They know who the fuck I am. I'm the Juggernaut. No. Talk to him, BZ. Leave the cash app up there.
Right, we're gonna leave the cash app up for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, as we go through quick hits here. So next up, lightweight contender Edwin De Los Santos has signed a multi-fight deal with Fighters First Management. He's slated to return in November. Who do you want to see him fight first?
Good question. I really want to see him versus Frank Martin, but I don't think we're gonna get that. And I'm also wondering, since he is no longer with Sampson, now he's with Adrian Clark, does that take him out the PBC mix? What do you think, Huey?
I mean, there's a few we've seen Adrian Clark fighters in with PBC, right? So I don't think that's really too big of a hindrance with that. I think he'll still have opportunities with them.
You know what? It just dawned on me. Why not Edwin De Los Santos versus Lucas Body on the Jake Paul Gervonta Davis card?
That's a good fight. Two explosive fighters. Someone's gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's anything like
You
De
know
Los
what?
Santos versus Shakur, we're all gonna go to sleep. But besides that, it should be an explosive contest. It should be an explosive contest.
JBZ, any thoughts on Edwin De Los Santos and fighters first? Any thoughts on potential opponents you'd want to see for him?
I mean, the Frank Martin fight to me, kind of would make the most sense, but I'm not sure if that would, kind of happen. But I'll see if I could get with, either Adrian Clark or Jolene. What the fuck? Mazzoli. That's probably one of the best moments of the year in boxing.
Yeah, listen, I can't even think about Jolene without thinking about that brawl.
Oh man. All right. So Javier Herrera and Ricardo Nunez have reportedly reached an agreement to face each other on October 25th in London. The bout would be a WBC lightweight eliminator for the belt currently held by Shakur Stevenson. Any thoughts on that news?
Congratulations, Javier Herrera. You will be the new WBC lightweight champion, apparently.
All right. Marcus Brown and Brandon Glanton are set to fight in Africa.
I don't mind the cruiserweights. It's like not quite meat, but meat adjacent. I would like to see it. I want to see what they got. Brandon Glanton, I will always remember him and salute him for the epic fight he had against F.A. Apoche that time on PBC on Fox. One of the best cruiserweight fights you will see in the last 10 years. Marcus Brown, let's see what he is at cruiserweight. He hasn't really fought anyone that I really cared about yet at cruiserweight. Now he's fighting somebody who I know could throw them hands. So it is a very interesting bout. And it's going to be on DAZN, so we'll all be able to see it.
All right. So next up, we got Beck Nurmagomedov is slated to return to the ring again, rather on the Canelo Crawford fight week in Vegas. Any idea of who he's going to fight? Do you care about this? Do you want to add anything more to it?
Not really.
All right.
I'm waiting for him to fight somebody we care about. It's about that time.
Okay. Moving back into a little bit of women's fighting, we have Christina Hammer contemplating a comeback into the sport of boxing, former multi-time world champion. Any thoughts on what you would want to see her do if she does return?
I want to see her go up against the winner of Olivia Curry versus Kay Scott, because that's going to be a unified title fight at middleweight. Or I want to see her against Savannah Marshall.
Okay. I think that Savannah Marshall fight could be good. Next up, we got rising heavyweight prospect Joshua Edwards is slated to return to the ring on the November 8th Golden Boy Promotions event, headlined by Virgil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin in Texas. Kind of same questions. Any word on who his opponent might be, and what are your thoughts on him returning during that card?
No, he's gonna eat a steady diet of tomato cans for now.
Yeah.
How many
fights do you think it will be until he fights anyone of note?
Well, when I had this conversation about Joshua Edwards with my guy Gray Johnson of BoxRec, he said about 20 more fights like this.
Yeah. So
it's gonna be maybe 2 years of this. So they keep building them.
Yeah, as Coach Ronnie Shields is saying about his guy Joshua Edwards, they're over in Houston. They're gonna, have him be as active as possible. That's what Oscar De La Hoya wants for Joshua Edwards. Initially they wanted to have him try to fight 13 fights or so within 12 months, but as long as they're able to put him in the cards that they got set up, then you're going to be seeing a lot more of Joshua Edwards here over these next few months.
Yeah, hopefully Golden Boy.
I wonder if they're gonna shoehorn him into that Oscar Collazo card in September. If they want him to fight that often, he could fight on both cards.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a great opportunity for Golden Boy to get him the extra ring experience again. I don't know how many rounds he's going to get in these fights, but just as many rounds as he can get is going to be good for him.
Yeah, agreed.
So we got next up, we got middleweight prospect Eric Priest slated to return to the ring on the November 8th Golden Boy Promotions event headlined by Virgil Ortiz in Texas. Anything to add on that?
I'm curious what Jay Beasy thinks. Like, what is Eric Priest?
Right now, I'm kind of thrown off because the Texas versus Ohio State game is going on right now, so I can't really.
I'm watching it too, Beasy.
I'm trying to hurry, guys. I'm trying to hurry.
Yeah. So right now, no comment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he is. I'm not sure what he is. Now he's in the right division. He's definitely in the right division, but I want him to fight like a final eliminator or something. Give me something.
All right. Then one more announcement here for the Canelo Crawford fight week. We got Brian Leon is slated to return to the ring on one of those fight week cards. Anything to add on that?
He's a decent prospect. He's with Eddie Reynoso.
Mm.
Okay. So his style might not be great.
Where's all this supposed to be taking place? Because you got this Beck guy that's supposed to be fighting, and then here.
Yeah. So from what I understand, you have obviously the Canelo Crawford card on the 13th, and we know the prelims for that. The card that they just announced this week is September 11th card, and then there's going to be a third card on September 10th that's going to be headlined by Beck Nurmagomedov, and then all these other guys are going to be on that card.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make them choice. Well, not that doesn't one on Wednesday. No, I don't know about that one.
All right, couple more topics before we close out the quick hits. Cuban prospect Kevin Haler Brown is slated to return to the ring on September 19th at Box Lab Promotions event at the Carib Royale in Orlando, Florida. Thoughts, comments, opinions?
I don't really have an opinion on Kevin Brown. I've seen him. From what I've seen, I haven't been impressed. I just need to see more. I need to see more from Kevin Brown.
Oh, this is one where Luis Ortiz is supposed to be on the card.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Luis Ortiz is supposed to be on the card, and you didn't lead with that? That's up your alley.
Here's the thing. Luis Ortiz is scheduled to come back on August 30th and September 19th. One of those things ain't happening. So we'll see after today. We'll see after today.
Got it. All right, and then lastly, Albert Bell returns to the ring in the main event of the Pulse Boxing event in Ohio. What's next for Albert Bell? I know this is a guy you've been campaigning for. When you had your conversations with some of the sanctioning body presidents, you asked about what his status was and why he didn't get his opportunity. So what do you want to see?
Honestly, it's going to sound bad. I want to see Albert Bell sign with TKO. Sign with TKO, run their lightweight division. He's the best guy that they can sign at 135. He will rule over that division for years to come in TKO. Sign with TKO. It's not happening for him, JR.
It's not. I mean, you had the whole situation there with the 130-pound division. He's here currently campaigning at 135, going up against Keith Hunter. That's going to be on millions.co. But I really don't see a path where he could, get an opportunity to fight for a world title unless if he, signs with a major organization. And he had already been on the top rank at 130 and didn't get the fight that he was supposed to get at 130. So here at 135, I think it's going to be the same way. At least right now, I think it's going to be the same way.
Yeah, and I feel like that Albert Bell situation is kind of like what you say about the UFC fighters, where it's like the UFC isn't necessarily the best fighting the best. It's the best people that'll accept their contracts fighting who will be it. And I feel like, unfortunately, that's the situation Albert Bell's in.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man.
All right, well, that's all we got for quick hits.
That's all we got. One thing I wanted to touch on, though, I didn't put it on the rundown. The WBC has banned, not WBC, sorry, TKO has banned the WBC interim title from the Lester Martinez Christian and Billy matchup. That's why the fight is a 10-rounder, and that's why it's not for the interim belt.
Why would they, what are your thoughts on why they would do that?
The war has begun. I mean, the war has begun.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like you would want the sanctioning body's champions to be fighting on your TKO events, so that way you could utilize that as leverage for your fighters being better, because eventually you'd match that up to, you know, where you'd hope you have a favorable matchup and your fighter takes that. But I don't understand that. I guess I get it from like the business standpoint, but from the like logic standpoint of how we're gonna view these fighters, I don't know that I see that.
But one thing I will say though, it doesn't even matter, because if Lester beats Christian and Billy's gonna lose his spot in the WBC anyway. So I don't even understand what the point is. I wouldn't be surprised if the WBC strips and Billy of the belt, win or lose. You gotta send a message. You're not gonna fuck with us.
Maybe I should get in contact with Mauricio Suleiman before fight week and
because I'm very curious about this.
Yeah.
All right, we see Cash App up. Yeah, throw that Cash App up. Big Boss wanted to talk about Mark Messiah versus Magnesi, WBC final eliminator Manila, October 29th. Yeah, I saw that. I think Messiah should win pretty easily. It's not a very interesting fight to me, but it is a final eliminator, which is interesting in and of itself. We will see. We will see. Yeah. Listen, if y'all got any comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time, because we all got to go. And
what do you think about this question?
I wanted to give out one of my locks, because I realized we didn't get to my best bet. We skipped my best bet. Kent State. Take Kent State college football. They're only like minus 230. Take Kent State. I'm taking UMass over Temple. UMass is the underdog in that matchup. UMass over Temple. And you put those two together, you should make a pretty good coin.
Wow.
Now I see Rosebud Ice Cream saying, what are the chances the sanctioning bodies do something together to prevent TKO from fucking things up? I think there's a very good chance. I think those talks have already happened. Very good chance. Very good chance. I'm gonna attempt to get my guy Gustavo back on the show sometime in the near future, so we could do like a state of the WBO like we did the last time we had him on. I think that'll be a treat for the fans.
All right, JBZ, you got anything to plug for the people before we close out the show this week?
Of course, check out my interview with WBC featherweight champion, the Dark Menace, Ciara Brown, as she, prepares for her upcoming first defense of that title over in Houston in September. So check that out. She's, currently in camp and things like that, doing the thing. And then, of course, you got, coming up for Friday, September 5th, the Pro Box card at the Care First Arena in Washington, D.C., headlined by Jordan White versus Renee Tejas for the vacant NABF lightweight title. So a number of fighters from the DMV area will be showcased on that card. And I had, a preview of that, here on the Boxing Source YouTube channel, but it will also be provided on the DMV Boxing Network channel as well.
All right. And Matt, before we get to anything that you have coming up for the people this week, I do want to get to two more questions from Rosebud Ice Cream here. We got one same question that he asked about the sanctioning bodies, but for the promoters. And I think you've talked about this with Golden Boy wanting to work with PBC and stuff, but if you just want to go into that a little bit more here.
The promoters already had a meeting together. Camille Estefan of Eye of the Tiger, the Sowlin brothers. There was Bob Arum was there. There was representatives from the other companies there also that we know and love, besides the British guys. They already got together, and I think they have an understanding on what they need to do to prevent TKO from fucking things up.
And
And
then
my guy Rosebud, is there Venmo? I don't know what is Venmo. I don't know what Venmo is. What is that?
it's like
That's another version.
yeah, it's like another cash transfer app. It's like
Oh,
it was made like it's more closer. It's like more like it's in between like Cash App and PayPal.
Yeah.
oh. I got PayPal. I don't know. I don't have Venmo. I don't know what Venmo is. But listen, man, support brunch boxing. Listen, if you can't support through Venmo or through Cash App, you can always hit the PayPal, or you can go get some gear from the Brunch Boxing store at www.brunchboxing.com. You can support us that way. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Matt. Anything for the people to look forward to this week before we close out the show?
Before we look forward, let's look backwards. This week, Salida Promotions Week. Salida Promotions is putting on a huge card. In the D, Brandon Moore versus DeAndre Savage in a heavyweight slugfest. You got Olivia Curry versus Kay Scott for the WBC and WBC and WBA middleweight titles. We had Olivia Curry, Brandon Moore, DeAndre Savage, and Dimitri Salita himself on Brunch Boxing. Those interviews are up on all streaming platforms. So when you guys get a chance, go check out those interviews. Very interesting stuff from Dimitri Salita, and some interesting news that he dropped for us that you guys might want to check out. So, let me know. I have nothing this week. I'm taking a
All right.
week off. God damn it.
The week
This is Ezra
is
week. Ezra's supposed to be rolling out this whole list of greatest wins ever.
yes. Yep.
What's going on?
I believe
What's
that is
going
still
on, Ezra?
I believe that is still going to be releasing here this week. I think he's
Come on.
finalizing his last questions for some of the guys like the official historian of Brunch Boxing, J-Ro, others
Yeah.
getting that completed. And so from what I hear, that is coming out this week. Is Brunch Football making a debut this week, Matt?
Brunch Football will make its debut tomorrow. Tomorrow. The exact time, don't ask for it. Like Biggie Small said, I drop unexpectedly like bird shit. All right. We will
You
be debuting Brunch Football tomorrow. We will be doing the over-unders for every team in the NFL. We will also be telling you who the playoff teams are going to be, and we will tell you who will win the Super Bowl. We also will be telling you who will win the postseason awards for the NFL. So Brunch Football, a full 2025-2026 NFL preview is happening tomorrow. Before we get out of here, I wanted to send a shout out to Jermaine Franklin, who's going to be fighting September 13th against Ivan Ditchko. Jermaine Franklin, he announced today that that his father just passed away. So I just want to send love and light to Jermaine Franklin. Also, I want to send love and light to His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, who says he is battling a bad case of COVID. Best wishes to you, Turkey Al Sheikh. I hope that you get the outcome that you deserve. All right. But this has been another edition of Brunch Boxing. He is our COO, the Mexican Al Heyman. He is our guest host today from the Boxing Source, my mentor, Jay Beasy. Go follow the Boxing Source. Our second guest host, you, the Brunch Boxing listeners. Love you guys. Shout out to all of you. Of course, the super producer, Huey. He is our absent host, Ezra Boxing. I am Matt. We are Brunch Boxing, and we are out.